Hello, beautiful. Yes, you. You're beautiful. And I want you to just notice for a second, how do you feel when I say that to you? Do you feel beautiful? Does it make you feel warm and wonderful? Or when I say that to you, does something in you resist receiving that? Perhaps there's a story in your mind about how you're not the kind of beauty that you think you should be. I just want you to pay attention to that. Because today I want to talk about a cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, perspective on why your beliefs matter. Okay, of course your beliefs matter, but today I want to talk to you a little bit about how your beliefs create your reality. So let's get into it. I want to show you the CBT cycle. This is a basic image to help explain a perspective from CBT about how our thoughts create the feelings that we experience, and the feelings that we experience choose or cause us to choose behaviors to deal with said feelings and thoughts. And that behavior that we choose tends to reinforce the thoughts that we have. So we go back around and around and around, creating this experience triggered by what we believe about it. I'll come back to this and give an example, but first I want to talk a little bit about how we are meaning-making machines. So as children, as an example, we perceive an experience that is happening, and as a human being, our brain attempts to make meaning out of what is happening. As such, the brain creates strategies for dealing with this issue or situation or experience. So let's say you're in a situation that feels dangerous, or that, let's say a kid is going to go walk into the street and mom rushes up and starts screaming. Now, this child could come to a number of different conclusions about what just happened, what it means. Does it mean to the child that they're unsafe to walk into the street? Perhaps not. Perhaps that's not the meaning that is taken from the experience because of the experience that is being projected and experienced by the mom. So our brain sees these experiences and comes up with ways to cope with the feelings that we may have. So in the example of this child, they have maybe no meaning around this situation. They feel the experience of mom being terrified and angry because she's terrified. And they may come to some kind of conclusion, which may not be the conclusion mom intended. But they may come to a conclusion about something like, oh, I'm bad, or they may come to some faulty misinterpretation of the meaning that is being made by this experience. Now, fast forward to when they're an adult. They may have some experience that reminds them of that childhood experience, let's say. Now, they're not going to notice that they're thinking, I'm bad, or whatever meaning they took from that experience. They're just going to feel the feelings that come from that thought and belief. They're going to feel crappy about themselves. They may feel scared, panicky, like mom did at the time, because they also felt that. And then they're going to choose a behavior to deal with those feelings. They may withdraw, for example, from society because being seen in that way is scary and makes them feel unsafe. And that behavior reinforces the belief. So I'm bad. I feel shitty. I feel crappy. I don't like the way I feel. I got to get away from people to not feel this way. Now people aren't around me because I'm bad. Boop, 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 boop. Do you see that? The brain has made meaning out of an experience when there was no reference points. And as young beings, we are, well, not just young, even as adults, we are prone to misinterpreting because there's a lot of information going on. And the challenge is that once the meaning has been made, the brain says, this is my strategy for dealing with this. What was your strategy at that moment? What was your strategy of responding? What was your behavior choice? And it'll keep reinforcing this because the brain says, this was dangerous. I escaped, or I withdrew, or whatever, and that is why I survived. That is why I survived this issue. This isn't all happening consciously, it's happening subconsciously. The brain is doing this to help you survive. And yet, it can choose faulty strategies or strategies that don't benefit you because of the misinterpretation of what actually was occurring. So, how do we deal with this? Lots of forms of therapy are about changing the outside world and coming in. So they'll talk and talk and talk and talk and talk around a situation, attempting to change the situation through talking about it over and over again. But this is not an acceptance of what actually has occurred. We're talking about it. We're not actually experiencing it. Or they may say to like change your behaviors. But the thing is that you can change your behaviors, and with time, you can actually rewire your experiences because the brain is neuroplastic. We have neuroplasticity. When we have run that line over and over in our brain, from the thought to the feeling to the behavior and so, it's a very practiced neural pathway. This is how I deal with this. And if we start choosing something else, we create new pathways. But gosh, it's hard. Gosh, it's hard. Oof, gosh, it's hard. We get into that spot where we have to recognize our feelings and go, ooh, I need to choose a different behavior. And this can work. It really can. It's just hard. It's harder than it has to be. What is really at the center of this is understanding the thoughts and beliefs and meaning that was created. So what's underneath what you're feeling? And this is what emotional wellness is all about, is starting to understand how you're feeling, accepting and allowing those feelings to exist and pass through you, because emotions are energy in motion, literally different consciousnesses. Fear, very dense one, passing through your field of energy. Love, very lovely, very light, very great vibration, passing through your field. It's all energy in motion. But we have to be able to identify those feelings and experience them. Because when we resist them, we experience a trauma and we freeze. We have no ability to come up with a strategy. We attach to those feelings. I am sad, I am hurt, I am broken, whatever. When we attach to those feelings, they get stuck inside of us. And guess what? If it was a painful experience, that experience keeps attracting more and more experiences like it, because it wants to be released. Because the experience that we resisted needs to finish its cycle. It wants to be released from our bodies. And we will continue to attract the experiences that will help us to do that. If we have had issues with misinterpreting, then we will keep thinking, oh, this just happens to me, over and over. We victimize ourselves. Step out of that. Be willing to feel your feelings without attaching to them, making them yours, making them you, I should say. And this will help the experience move through you. But as a starting point, recognizing what that emotional state is and working with somebody who ideally is either a cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner or somebody who's very good at searching out subconscious beliefs and helping you uncover what meaning you made that causes this emotional upset. Again, you may not consciously know what you're thinking because this pattern has been repeated and it's all happening from this subconscious level of your mind that says, I'm doing this to protect you. So you don't have to think about it. So you don't have to decide. So changing the behavior is possible, and we can rewire our brains by changing our behaviors, by becoming consciously aware of how we are feeling, understanding how we tend to respond, and then making a choice to respond differently in a way that's more empowered. But gosh, it is going to be very challenging. That's option one. Option two is to work with somebody to help you understand what thoughts, beliefs are underneath the emotional experiences that you don't like to experience. What are you experiencing that you don't want to experience? Because whatever it is, you have created it through this cycle of thoughts, feelings, behaviors, thoughts, feelings, behaviors. And it starts with that thought. It starts with the belief. It starts with the meaning that was made. And when this is uncovered, with the help of somebody like myself, you can eradicate it and choose different beliefs. You're going to need help from somebody that knows how to do this. And when you get to do that, that thought or the new belief creates new emotional experiences for you in those same situations. And that creates a new strategy. The vibration of the thoughts and meaning and beliefs that you hold create your emotional experience and inform the strategy or behaviors that you will take on. So I'll give an example. I work with people all the time on this, but the first one that's coming to mind for me is one that literally just happened with a client yesterday. And what we uncovered, so she presents this issue to me that's like this relationship, this guy is being totally abusive and not taking responsibility for how he's a part of the problems that have happened. And I'm absolutely triggered by this. I'm absolutely overwhelmed, angry, totally boundary crossed situation. Understandably so. But Does she want to feel that way? No, she doesn't want to feel that way. And she thinks she feels that way because of how that person behaved. But that's not actually why she feels that way. She feels that way because of what she thinks or believes about this situation and her place in it. So when we dug into this issue more, we discovered that as a child, she was programmed by her mother that everything was her fault. It's all my fault, was the belief that we uncovered. It's all my fault. And so this person keeps attracting experiences with men, and this has been a pattern for this client, with many men who do not take responsibility for their part in any conflicts or challenges that arise in the relationship. It is a repeating pattern. She has it happen over and over and over, and every time it makes her feel like absolute shit. Absolute shit. Because what was underneath that was this belief that she took from her mother and the experience she had with her mother, blaming and not taking any responsibility, who also inherited that belief, as we discovered. Okay. They get passed on unconsciously. Sometimes we consciously take on beliefs from those around us. Other times we do it unconsciously. Anyway, we had this belief we uncovered, and we were able to eradicate it. And we created this new belief that felt really good for her, that she had a fair sense of responsibility. I believe that was the new one. This felt really good and right to her. And when she was able to see how she responds using this new belief instead of how she reacted under the old belief, she was able to experience this person not taking responsibility. And sure, it was a little hurtful. But she also was untriggered by the situation. She was able to experience, that makes me a little sad that this person won't take any responsibility. But pretty much matter-of-factly, I deserve better than that. And I don't have to engage in this BS. Done. Done. So next time somebody's not taking responsibility for their part in things, that's how she's going to be able to respond. Oh, this isn't worth my time. This isn't worth my energy. I get to just walk away from this. I don't have to explain myself. I don't have to beg them to take responsibility for their part. I don't have to try to change what they're doing. I just go, oh, that's a little sad, but that's because it's just not worth my time. It's not worth my energy because I know I'm being fair and taking responsibility for what's mine. Okay. So I think that might be all that I wanted to share on this today. The main idea is that our thoughts and beliefs create the emotional experiences that we have, and they inform the decisions that we will make about how we will behave or respond to the situation. And how we behave or respond to the situation reinforces that belief. So back to the example I was just talking about with the client, when she would clamor after this person, she would just feel really crappy. She would have this inner dialogue around this belief that was like, should I have done more? Did I need to do something? Did I need to do more on this? Did I fail this person because I didn't do enough? So she would go into questioning her reality. She'd go into serious challenges with returning and analyzing herself in a way that was not actually, there was no reality to that. So let's just say sometimes people do need to go in and review their behaviors and their responsibility, but that has never been the case with this person. She has always taken on too much responsibility. She has always made herself responsible for other people's emotions and behaviors towards her. And underneath all of that was this belief that she got as a child from her mother. Discarding that belief, permanently clearing that cycle, opening her up to experience a fair sense of responsibility. This is mine. This is where my job in this communication and in this relationship ends. Your behaviors, your words, that's yours. Done. So, I think I said that I was done, but I kind of never really know. More stuff just kind of comes to me as I'm talking. I didn't really plan this or anything. I was inspired to share this today. So the behaviors that we take on reinforce that thought or belief. Did I cover that enough? Did I explain that well enough? Okay. So she would do this thing about one, asking all these other people, did I do enough? So she was trying to quell this internal conflict about whether she had done enough and what was her fault and such. But none of that would ever actually reassure her. You see that? You ever experience that when you're you go to somebody else and you're like, here's my story, here's my problem, am I bad? Am I the bad guy here? And they're like, no, girl, you got this. You're great, blah, blah, blah. Some part of you is a little relieved. And then another part of you is I don't know. It still hurts. It still sucks. Does that sound familiar? You ever experienced that? Because I have. And I see it happen all the time. And that's because, again, there is that underlying belief, possibly even parts of the psyche that have developed around trauma that hold on to beliefs like that just absolutely refuse that somebody else's perception of what has happened could be real, right? So we have to get down to that core. What is that issue? What is the belief? What is the thought? What are the meanings that were made that drive the experiences that we have? Okay, I feel complete. I'd love to hear what you think. Does any of this resonate for you? Did any of it trigger you? I'll touch on that really quick because I just want you to notice, based on what I have explained here, that if I said something that triggered you into feeling angry or shitty in any way, it's because you have some subconscious belief or meaning that was made from an experience surrounding this issue. It's not actually my words that make you angry or that make you feel like crap. I mean, if I was here telling you you're a bad person, blah, 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 then yeah, okay, my words. But that's not what I'm doing here, okay? Shoot, there was something else and then it just left me. So just notice that if you felt triggered by something here today, I mean all of this with the most love and compassion for every experience, because no matter what experience you're having, it is valid. It's yours. But can you also recognize how, in some way, you created it? It's okay. Because the good news is you can also discreate it. And I'd love to help you if you would like to know how. So what emotional experiences do you have? What repeated experience do you have that you don't like, that creates difficult emotional experiences for you? Do you see a pattern somewhere that, for example, you keep attracting men who don't take any responsibility? Or that you keep having friends that don't show up when you need them? Ooh. So yeah, something else did just pop into my head that's important here. And then it was gone as soon as I said that. This is my life, you guys. Okay. So, my goodness. I should have finished my coffee this morning. Oh, it was there. It'll come back to me. Hang on. Ah, I remembered. So, the other thing I want to say about beliefs is that when we hold a certain belief, we will also tend to perceive the things that affirm that. This is called cognitive bias. It means that our brain has a tendency to look for information that confirms what we already believe. We see this everywhere. Can you think of something that you have experienced where you're like, whoa, that person only sees what they want to see here? Don't get me on the subject of politics or whatever. But that's a good example, right? There's in the United States, there's a two-party system, and each side is saying to the other, you're crazy and you don't see all the facts. But that's because they hold beliefs that allow them to see the things that confirm what they believe. Both sides. Both of them. Okay. So if we believe something like it's all my fault, then we will only see and perceive the information that confirms that. I mean, we may see and perceive some other things, but for the most part, the belief is like a filter that filters out a whole lot of information. Again, to make things easier for you. This is our brain trying to do its job. It's trying to help us be efficient so that we don't have to consciously process every single thing. There's so much information all around us. Every single little thing around us, our brains could be spending time on, and we would never get anything done. So it gets automated for us. And one of the ways that our brain automates is by filtering out the things it thinks we don't need to know. Don't need to know that. Whoa. So you literally can't know what you don't know. Not unless you're willing. Not unless you're open. Not unless you're willing to examine the beliefs that create your experience. Then you can have the sheet pulled off of your face, and you can finally see what is actually true. Granted, there's lots of truths in the world, and a lot of the truth that you can experience is truth that you can create from what feels really right, good, empowering, loving, light, freeing in you. That is your truth. And so many of us have taken on other people's truths that don't feel that great. We can take them off. Would you like to? Start creating the experiences that you want to have in life. It's totally possible. All right. That's all. That's all for now. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Please let me know if you'd like to know more about this. I do free 30-minute chats with potential clients who are interested in mastering their emotional wellness. And this work, I am a certified cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner. I'm a certified life coach. I'm a certified clear beliefs coach. I'm certified in NLP. I have a lot of different certifications that all revolve around helping people feel good, empowered, loved, lovable, all the good things. You want to get there? Look, it's not like you're going to stop, feeling bad ever. But one, if you can clear these beliefs that create all these dense experiences for you, you can heal trauma that created these beliefs and experiences. You're going to feel a crap ton better on a regular and daily basis. And two, when you do feel those dense emotions, they pass through you. No big deal. Yeah, that sucked. I felt a little angry. But you know what? I know what I want to do about it now. I'm clear on that. I'm not stuck in this, or, you know what? That made me a little sad. But that's only because I'm ready to let go of that. And I'm going to let go of that now. So, if you would like to master your emotional experience and begin creating the life that you want to have, let's dig into what you think by digging into how you feel. And I will help you connect with your inner wisdom, your higher self, as you may call it, your soul, to uncover the subconscious programming that creates the experiences you have. Lovingly deconstruct that and install a new structure that helps you create the experiences you want to have. So I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I'm sending you lots and lots of love. From my heart to yours, Kinsey, Pinnacle Healing, making the world a better place, one good vibe at a time. See you next time. Bye for now.